This game we have two-time TI winner OG Seb playing OFFLANE Enigma. We're gonna watch, narrate his gameplay, see what he does. If you guys are new here, I do this kind of replay analysis almost every single day on our Twitch channel. And if you're watching from YouTube, do like and subscribe. That's how you're gonna get more content. Starting build, he got Ring of Regen, Tangles. This will go into his headdress, probably Mech or Dominator. We'll see what path he takes with that. He's got one Mango and one Clarity. Starting, he goes to the Bounty Rune, checks out what's up. He didn't go for the lower ground Bounty Rune because he thinks he will probably lose that fight, and he's an Enigma. He can't really skill anything apart from Demonic Conversion. So he goes back, gets the one rune, goes back to the creep wave, blocks, denies the range creep right in front of the tower. So the Eidolons will be alive for a while. Uses the Eidolons and his hero to try and last it as much as he can. The Spearbreaker is trying to block the camp or maybe pull the creep wave, and that's exactly what he's doing. And right now, he feels pretty good because the creep wave is being pulled. He's just gonna go back there, and every wave he's just gonna keep on denying the range creep non-stop. It denies the most amount of experience and gold from the enemy. And this enemy Witch Doctor is trying to make his life really difficult by hitting the Eidolons all the time. So he needs to be careful and micro that better. So you can see here, level 2 he takes Midnight Pulse, not Malefice. I think this is really good at defending towers and possibly harassing if need be, or do some damage if they go on him. And again, keep denying the creeps and just focusing on last hits and denies as much as you can with the Enigma. Like once he has more creep momentum, that's the time that he starts to harass the Phantom Lancer. Then he just goes back. So the wish, now that the wave is at his tower and then the SB has brought back another wave, the Enigma or Seb is trying to just hold the wave in front of his tower here. And this is really annoying for Phantom Lancer because every wave there's minimum of one range creep being denied no matter what because of Demonic Conversion. But here he doesn't deny anything because there's a huge creep wave coming towards him. He uses the Midnight Pulse to like kind of make the enemy back off from him. And then on the next wave that came, he denies the range creep. And that's the power of Midnight Pulse compared to Malefice. Malefice only stuns people for a very short time, but Midnight Pulse can back these safe laners away from you when you're trying to farm under the tower, which is really nice. And you can see his positioning. Like even though he's doing well, he's not like playing super aggressively because he wants to be extremely patient and understand that he just needs XP and gold. Like he doesn't need to like harass the enemy carry super hard or something. The enemy carry is already frustrated because he's getting his range creep denied all the time. And he also has some extra denies as well. So here you can see like once the wave is, like once he has the creep momentum here, he's like pushing his hero and the Eidolons up front to hit the Phantom Lancer, and then once the Phantom Lancer backs off, that's the time he starts last hitting the creeps. And when the Spearbreaker's not there, he's playing very safe. And when, especially when the wave is not like, it's like past this river point, like up here, every time the wave's up here, he just plays very defensive and waits for the wave to come to him because he doesn't want to die to the Witch Doctor and Phantom Lancer and give back all the XP that he denied from the enemy by, you know, using the Demonic Conversion on the range creep. So here again, as you can see, every time they go on him, he just drops a Midnight Pulse on top of himself, and this is like pretty much gonna stop or slow down the enemy from like trying to get him. So they back off here, but they didn't like get away, you know, completely unscathed. They did take a lot of damage. He does die here. He walked up a little too far. And this game, he also skills Midnight Pulse up, not Malefice, because he's fighting against Phantom Lancer, and Phantom Lancer can just doppel and remove the Malefice, right? So here he dies, and his first item that he bought in the lane was actually Soaring, and then he got a Magic Wand. So the Soaring gives him strength, HP regen, and also mana. And that's where the Ring of Regen went, not to Headdress or Domi. But he is gonna go for Dominator anyway, as we thought. But the initial initial Ring of Regen went towards the Soaring. So here he revives, keeps his back top lane, and SB came to help him, but again, more people have been brought to his lane, as in the Nature's Prophet, and they die again. So actually not a very good start for Seb this game. he is suffering quite a bit because of the back-to-back deaths, and when he revives, he also doesn't have the teleport scroll up. So the Ogre Magi also had to come top, and Ogre Magi also died. So his next play here, he just went straight to a jungle, uses Midnight Pulse and the Demonic Conversion to farm faster here. He actually left the top lane to the support, even though there's a catapult there. It could have been scary that the enemy could have taken the top tower, but he realized that making his levels is much more important, and if he actually went to the top lane, he might risk risk dying again. So here he just goes into the bottom jungle, starts farming. He played to these two camps and then the ancients. He got an item for his team as well, and his goal is still to try and get level 6. And now that he has level 6 and there's a fight breaking out in the mid area, he actually just walks there, tries to help out his team. The Troll Warlord also TP'd here. Now suddenly there's 4 guys around mid lane. So he doesn't actually have like a blink or anything. Sorry, not blink, boots or anything. So he's not really moving that fast, but he's okay. Not moving like faster on the map or something. He's much more focused on his experience as an Enigma. Enigma is kind of like a carry, right? Where like you need a lot of XP and gold and items in order to become effective. He can help push towers if he snowballs, but this game he's not snowballing because he lost. He died 2 times top lane and he lost the lane after that. So he's just focused on finishing this Dominator, and his team is like kind of suffering still. They did get a couple kills, but they did lose top tower at the same time. Now that he's almost at Dominator, here it is. Go out from the courier, and then he goes for the boots of speed. He wants to get that wolf creep, that's why he left it alive in the camp. Now he's got a lot of damage. Look at his base damage, right? He's got like 120 something damage. If he groups up with the Troll Warlord, he can do a lot of damage there too. He actually skilling out Midnight Pulse this game. Normally I see him go 1 level in Midnight Pulse and max Malefice, but I think it's because of the Phantom Lancer he's decided to max out the Midnight Pulse. Because you need the Malefice to normally like try and get black holes off. So here he notices that there's a big fight breaking out mid lane, and he's got that Midnight Pulse ready. Drops it in the fight, and this DP, holy smokes, that DP took so much damage. You cannot stand in level 4 Midnight Pulse, that's for sure. It does an insane amount of damage. Didn't even need to use Black Hole there. And now that the mid push has been averted, he's going back into the jungle, back into a bottom lane, pushing the lanes out, just trying to farm as fast as he can. Like if we take a look at his net worth, he's actually climbing back up, right? He's got almost as much farm as the mid laner, even though he had a really bad start with the back-to-back deaths. And his team hasn't really taken like more towers than the enemy or something. So here he sees a Phantom Lancer, Spearbreaker is charging in, but notices suddenly there is other people who also show up from behind. Things are getting kind of scary. Drops a Midnight Pulse, misses on the Phantom Lancer, and he is just gonna casually black hole here, but I don't think this is gonna be anything. More like kind of like a frustration play more than anything, because there's 5 heroes bottom and there's no, and the other 2 cores on his team are split pushing, and it was just a really bad situation. So off to a really bad start, but that's the interesting part about these games, right? Like to see how these players come back from these situations and how they play, right? Because it's easy to play from ahead, but it's not so easy to play from behind. So he TP's back bottom, pushes the lanes out. Oh, sorry. Went a little bit too fast there. Okay, so pushes the lanes out, and again, the enemy still showing. So his supports are playing with him, or he's playing with the support. So I'm not entirely sure which is which, but it looks like he kind of likes to play alone here as an Enigma, that's for sure. So he moves to the trees, tries to juke out the enemy. They're all focusing his supports. So he wants to like get away, and you can see how like he hugs the tree line to make sure that like they can't see him because it's nighttime, which is really nice. And now the Spearbreaker is going back in because the enemy is starting to run away, and he just drops a Midnight Pulse. And this is where like he probably wishes he had like some Malefice so he can have a little bit more impact in the fights. But you know, he made a conscious decision that countering Phantom Lancer and DP with Midnight Pulse is a much more important tool this game. And to be honest, his Invoker is pretty high leveled and has like tornadoes and stuns, and so does Spearbreaker, so maybe he's relying more on them. And we can see how he's playing now. He's always like playing to split push. Normally you see Enigma split pushing top lane, but because top lane was such a rough lane this game, and also bot lane is like the scarier lane for the enemy, like for his team to farm. He's taking like this like super dangerous farm in the bottom lane. Like it's really easy for him to farm bottom because if a Phantom Lancer shows up, he's just gonna drop Midnight Pulse on the creep wave and push out the lane, right? Whereas like nobody else on his team, for example, Invoker and Troll can push out bottom lane. So he's actually taking a dangerous farm in the bottom lane, and he's giving a, by doing so, he's actually giving space to his Troll and his Invoker to farm other easier parts on the map. Maybe like this top area is much easier for his team to farm. And this bottom lane is always constantly pushed out to this point where like Dire always needs to react no matter what. So that's really pressuring for Dire to play against. And all of a sudden, like because there's this bottom play happening, like mid things like there's nobody there and dies. And you can see here they even go on the Phantom Lancer as well. Blink Black Hole, but the Midnight Pulse I don't think is hitting the Troll Warlord. He does get the root on him. Oh, and he's dead. And just like that. Nice setup from both the Troll and the Enigma here. Doesn't have Midnight Pulse. The Troll will die from the Maledict, but they do get 3 kills, right? And this is all possible because they were split pushing. Like, you had bottom lane pushed out. And the enemy's always thinking, oh, we gotta get this lane out. We gotta get this lane out. We gotta put pressure on them. That's why the Phantom Lancer TP bottom. And this time around, the Troll was already set up bottom with him. He probably made a call that, hey, Seb was like, yo, the Phantom Lancer is gonna TP bottom and I got Blink. And they just go on him like that. And now he farms some neutral camps, gets the next set of tier 2 items at 17 minutes, and he's already making his way into the BKB. So this Dominator is like really good for Enigma because it gives them that extra aura, the creep to be able to push out lanes, but also HP regen, attack speed. Like it's just really good team item, right? And it also helps him farm faster as well, while also being able to scout or maybe get like a Centaur who can also stun. So you can see like his team is like split pushing and fighting around top area, and he's just making sure that this bottom area is like constantly pushed out, because Enigma, like I said, is like a carry, but it's not like a position 1 carry, right? It's not like someone who needs to get all the easy farm. He's just farming all the hard farm, and by doing so they're getting a lot of farm on the map, because normally in games nobody can actually farm this bottom lane. It's very extremely scary. Essence Circuit is also nice, makes him tankier, gives him HP mana regen. And here he catches the Death Prophet. He has a Black Hole if he needs to use it, but his team is already here, doesn't even need to use the Black Hole. And you can see the frustration coming from Dire team. Hi, this is my team, look at that. Holy smokes. Like, he's like boosting the morale of his team too by saying that. Anyway, like, the fact that he's doing this stuff bottom, the enemy is really frustrated. And they always bring in someone bottom, but it's so dangerous because they're running into this Enigma, who now has a Blink Dagger and always has the threat of casting Black Hole. Here he pushed bottom tier 2, the enemy reacted to the push, and he wanted to TP out because they are already in the base. So once you've already brought people back to the enemy base, there's no point to go high ground because you don't have Roshan, you don't have... Or you do they do have Aegis actually. But I think like the first Aegis, normally you don't really go high ground with. You normally go high ground with like the second Aegis. And they're okay with just like going back farming and pushing and like getting more farm out on the map. But because the Coconut cancelled the Enigma's Seb's TP, he just decided to stay here. And there's no point to go back anymore. And now they're trying to walk up the hill. He got this BKB now. And nobody on the Dire team can cancel this Black King Bar ultimate from the Enigma. So he's really looking for that opportunity to maybe catch like 2 people in Black Hole. Now that he has BKB, he's completely fine with like just getting 2 people. Before, when you don't have BKB on Enigma, you more or so want to only get like 1 person in a Black Hole. Just get a kill, put it on cooldown so you can use it again later. But now that you have the BKB, you really want like at least 2 people in your hole, because if you use your BKB Black Hole, they just buy back and then they just like fight you again, and then your BKB was like essentially useless. Here they try to go on him again, and his team is ready nearby. And you can see he's always like trying to push out the creep waves with his Eidolons and kill creep waves. So the enemy's like way to run out on the map and farm is like cut off. And now he sees there's a Phantom Lancer. He TPs for it, and because this is a position 1 hero, he's completely fine black holing that. And there's no other way they're gonna kill that Phantom Lancer without black holing him. because the troll was just too far away, ogre was too far away, nobody else can stun him. You don't want that chase to last forever. And now they're just gonna use this downtime of while Black Hole's on cooldown to just pretty much farm a bit and just kill anybody who walks out of the base. And Witch Doctor buys back, they just move back. They know they don't have Black Hole, but his team is extremely strong at the moment. You can see the net worth is like only 6k, but the value, or the gold lead's only 6k, but the value from these heroes is extremely high, right? Like these heroes are all really good when with items. Where like Dire has like Rubik and Witch Doctor who like are not so valuable when they have like any kind of net worth, to be honest, in comparison to like this, you know, Troll, Invoker, Enigmas. Even Ogre Magic can cast Bloodlust on his teammates and provide a lot. And here like Seb is a bit I would say not frustrated, but didn't really want to make this commitment into this, because one, he's already making his way to his next item, which is Linken's, and second, his Black Hole is still on cooldown from the killing of the Phantom Lancer. Now killing the Phantom Lancer gave them a chance to like open up the map, which is nice, but after this, like, they should definitely just keep farming and just wait for the next one. And you can see he buys Linken's, so there's absolutely no way that anybody can like stop his Black Hole anymore, even if they buy Abyssal Blade on Dire side, on like say the Phantom Lancer. And here he just moves to the last tower that was available, farms around there, takes the outpost, takes the tower, and now that his Black Hole is up, and you can see like how they're always choking out the enemy like this, and the waves are always pushed in their favor, even though there's a Nature's Prophet on the enemy team. Now he's gonna walk to the high ground with the Eidolons. And he's got his BKB ready. He's just waiting for somebody to jump his teammates, and then he would just go in. But here he sees two heroes. Two heroes, good enough. Black Hole that, right? Rubik steals the Black Hole, but doesn't matter. He has to get out of position to cast it. Dies. Oh, doesn't actually die. His troll dies instead. This fight wasn't actually that good. At the end of the day, I think Seb made a mistake here, because the Rubik was still alive, right? And also he wants the Linken's probably too first, so the Rubik can't steal the Black Hole either. So here the Rubik just steals the Black Hole and gets a huge hole off, and the Troll Warlord didn't even use his ultimate actually. Not entirely sure what that was about, but probably a misclick there too. So a little bit of misinformation happening.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So here we go. So yeah, there's another way they can cancel Black Hole too, is by stealing Black Hole and then Black Holing him back, right? So Rubik is pretty poor. He's trying to get Aether Lines, and this Enigma, like Seb's Enigma, already has Linken's finish in like 2 minutes or something. Okay. So here he just goes bottom, clears the waves, gets enough money to get his Linken's. 40 seconds for his next Black Hole. Anyone he sees, he just jumps in, stuns them, super easy. Like this gameplay from him is like, the whole game he's been pushing out lanes, and especially the dangerous lanes, and making sure that there's always space for his other cores to farm on the map, because Enigma really soaks up a lot of farm to get to this point in the game. Like, when was the last time you see an offlaner have 15,000 net worth, right? It just normally doesn't happen. But here a fight breaks out. You can see he just went top, wants to clear the wave there first, but a fight already broke out mid lane. He has BKB and Black Hole. He's just waiting for the angle to maybe catch the Phantom Lancer. Oh, he cast the Black Hole here and actually gets the Phantom Lancer, even though he was doppling. That was interesting. And so his priority in this game was like solo Black Hole on PL, completely fine because he's a carry, and then 2-man Black Hole on anybody else. And now he just uses the Linken's to give to his Troll Warlord to be able to push, because obviously he doesn't need the Linken's anymore. And that's like two different ways how like Linken's really helpful, like for him to not get his Black Hole stolen, and at the same time also give it to your core so they can just hit Fracx with it. Pretty good. And because the two carries like Phantom Lancer and the NP died, they can just take all the buildings there. And this NP this game was actually pretty farm too. That's mainly because like there was so much pressure being applied on the map on their side that only the NP was able to really get farm by split pushing. Where like the PL and the DP couldn't really get out on the map. So this game, like the biggest thing that I learned is more than like applying pressure in your lane, it's much more important that you get farm in the early game and experience in the early game, because you need to like scale right in the game, and you can't do that if you're like dying in your lane or trying to apply too much pressure on the enemy. When you play especially a hero like Enigma, like for Seb, like what he's thinking is these denies already apply a lot of pressure on the enemy carry because they're losing a range creep every single time, right? So they're gonna feel bad. So the moment like he died back to back top, he just abandoned that lane, went straight into the jungle and told his support, hey, just stay top, leech XP, and then he started farming. And then once the troll left the bottom lane because it got too dangerous, he took over the bottom lane and started split pushing the bottom lane now and making sure that the enemy cannot take the tier 2 tower bottom. And he actually maxed out his midnight pulse for I think multiple reasons. At first I thought it was mainly because of Phantom Lancer and DP, it's really good damage to them, but I think it's also because this spell is a lot easier to defend towers with altogether, right? Midnight Pulse does a lot of damage, so nobody wants to sit on top of a tier 2 tower hitting it while they're taking a bunch of Midnight Pulse damage. It's like the same as activating a glyph, kind of. So because of that, it was really nice. And you know you're gonna farm a lot, and you know you're gonna hit your your Midnight Pulse at some point in the game anyway. You're gonna max it out. So he just kept farming and farming and amplified his farming with the Midnight Pulse and everything, and then bought team item first, then bought the BKB, then got the the blink, the BKB, then the Lincolns after that to make sure that the Rubik can off steal Black Hole as well. And this game was like so super difficult for Dire to fight into because this Enigma was like a ticking time bomb, right, in this game, where at some point he's gonna get his items. I used to play a lot of Enigma and I kind of forgot how to play it, but watching this game reminded me exactly how to play Enigma. And like, you're always gonna be that ticking time bomb no matter what, especially when the enemy don't have any way of like stopping your Black Hole.